This is entirely created by the business's willingness to put their product to benefit in the community. That's what makes this start. And yeah, the businesses are the people who can pump it.
I'll also say the cost that's borne by the business is really only reflective to the degree to which they go over their unused capacity, and even that, when they go over their unused capacity, which is for most businesses about 30%, this has the added advantage that they can then re-spend it with other businesses. So they haven't even really lost anything, even if they go over their unused capacity. So, a theater has, 100 seats, only seats 70 people at one time. There's 30 extra, seats that it hasn't been used. So as those dollars come back, it monetizes those seats.
But it's fine for a theater, but for somebody that's producing hard goods, like cars, or machinery, or food, or whatever else, they have costs to produce those things.
They absorb those in the income.
Yeah, which is why
costs
this is
are carried in there. So, the restaurant says 50% cash, 50% margin in the community. That covers all their outflow costs. The same for manufacturing cars.
But they don't make any profit this.
Yes, they do make a profit. That's the exact point. Green is money, just like blue is money. Profit is makeable in both currencies. Now, we got this head trip that says only the real money is real.
Well, they're only sacrificing their profit if they're going beyond their unused capacity and then don't re-spend it with other businesses. If they do re-spend it with other businesses, they've done something that they would have had to do anyway in hard cash, and they're just doing it with the community money instead.
And locking in the loops. It's sort of, this is everything they do already. Businesses give cash, businesses give product, businesses give services, businesses get butter all for it. Check it out. Businesses do not benefit greatly from the conventional community activities. They benefit marginally, but...
Well, the theory is, I'm giving a gift certificate and I'm bringing in new customers. So
At a
you're saying
discount.
this, just another way of doing that is to have this...
Without the discount. You're bringing them in at a revenue. See, this is the story we're trying to teach the businesses is spend money that goes around, it works better than spending the money that goes away. Here's a way to find out about it. And we sanitize it. This is money laundering at the highest level. Because you see, if Microsoft came out tomorrow and said, listen, I'd like to buy something from you, here's some Microsoft bucks. What would you feel about it? You think, Microsoft issuing promises to me? There's a nasty feel about it. Trade law. The trade unions in Britain were founded on the illegality of businesses paying them in business money. The company store, 16 tons, and what do you get? Trade law says you must pay in legal tender because otherwise you're exploiting your staff. Well, same sort of thing happens when a business says, I've just thought of money, I'm going to issue it. No, all their suppliers are going to say, just a minute, you're taking a slice out of me. You're standing on my oxygen tube. People don't like that, so they won't go with it. So what we're saying with this one is, you're creating the money, it comes back. Look at that. Easy, flows around, no pain, no suffering. Thank you very much. That's the introduction of Community Way. Now, the other reason for that, you on your way?
I was going to go here. Good, my dear, but I think I had the idea of it. But go ahead and say it.
Well, I was just going to say, please.
Very interesting.
Thank you. The other reason for doing this is we can make money doing it. Now, anybody know a way to make money with community currencies? I've not seen one yet. You can turn them into barter networks. You can toll booth it, right? And say, we're starting a community currency. It's our community currency. You pay us 2% every transaction. That is a toll booth model. They are doomed. They are morally ridiculous. They're structurally badly designed. They're self-defeating, and they confuse the issue of whom they serve with who's making money. So there's a lot of problems with any of the conventional approaches to making money. There's the history of the last 100 years about community currencies has been it costs to set them up, it costs to print paper if you're using script, it costs to write software, it costs to promote, it costs this, it costs that, it costs the other. How are you going to pay for it? Oh, I tell you what, we'll tax the traffic. Dead. End of game. Will not work. Might for a little while, won't work for long. With this model, what we're saying is, this is a freebie. But we'd like the businesses that are taking the first swing at it to also pitch a little bit of money, again in green, into the central organization for the region, the Open Money Development Group, which is the entity composed of the people who are actually doing work to implement, promote, advertise, discuss, hit the streets and wherever. So we've put this one together as a starter motor to put funding in a very, in our view, legitimate and low cost way. To put cash and, well, initially community money, but by conversion it turns into cash as well. So you can operate your project on a sustainable long-term basis. Kicked off as well. I think I've covered all the parameters of the thing. Have you seen anything I missed in?
Only that the business that makes the donation and goes negative. So a 5-person business donates $5,000 to the homeless shelter. They open an account, and that account starts at negative $5,000. They pay a $500 community dollar fee to the organizing group. So they're negative $5,500, and we also recommend that they do it with smart cards, which is going to cost them another couple of $100, community dollars, or maybe $500. So they're about $6,000. They're $6,000 negative in their account. What we recommend to them is that they stay negative. They can stay at negative $6,000 forever, and just spend the money that they earn around. Just keep the money moving. They don't have to come. The fail-safe position is that they earn their way back up to zero, and they've honored their commitment, and they can say, okay, that was fun. We didn't get a whole lot out of it. That's it. We're done. Most likely, they'll just keep going. And what we say to them, though, is that don't bother working your way back up to zero. Just stay negative.
And move more money out. As soon as you get it, spend it. If you can't spend it effectively, donate it again. Move it on.
And I think an important point there is just to, again, emphasize that businesses can spend it with each other because, the way I've been talking about this in Portland is as a commercial barter club with a really excellent community-oriented kickoff.
Yeah.
So,
it's about convertibility principally. There's two things that define a money. One is it moves. If you have a piece of paper and it says $5,000 on it and you try and buy a loaf of bread with it and that you can't get a loaf of bread, then what you've got is a piece of paper with 5,000 in it. It's not money, right? If, on the other hand, you have a piece of paper with anything written on it and you can get a loaf of bread for it, that piece of paper has become a form of money. I mean, very restricted, but it is real if you can pass it and get something. Now, the ultimate test of a community currency is, will it change a dollar for a dollar? Will it sustain direct one-to-one convertibility in any sector, not everywhere? But if somebody, good community actions, is loaded with community money, can they trade it dollar for dollar with the general public? Well, in our view, if every dollar is accountable as an obligation by a business, then you've got a good chance that you can sustain this for quite a long time, if not forever. But it's that convertibility that is critical to establishing that you've got a money that really works rather than a money that might work for a few people, haircuts and aromatherapy. Right? We've done the aromatherapy bit? Basically this has got to be beer and bread. If people can't buy bread, then they don't care.